Hey guys, this is Sam with the OP, the Oratory Post, the OPOG. It is technically the 21st of July, 2020, like 1 a.m. But really, this is about what happened today or yesterday, if you want to call it that. Heartbreaking, devastating news. Michael Jamal Brooks, or just Michael Brooks of the Michael Brooks Show, as well as the Sam Cedar, or the Majority Report, but with Sam Cedar and Jamie Peck and the rest of the gang. Michael Brooks passed away unexpectedly at the age of 37 years old, which is scary. I do not believe it was corona related because he seemed fine and well. They did mention something about it just being an unexpected medical condition. I was watching Bosch and he said something about a pulmonary embolism. I have no clue, but I will let that medical privacy be respected, and we will know in due time, or we will not know. But what we do know is that we have lost not only a great person, and in many ways I would consider a friend, even though I've never met him, but somebody on the left, somebody on the progressive, just a brain, a mind, a thought leader, just a thinker, maybe even a philosopher of sorts. We lost something very, 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 very immense today. It's sort of funny because I was never into YouTube or political vlogging. I used to be the typical MSNBC type, just watch Rachel Maddow and watch the whole evening rundown. And then during the primaries, I got tired of the stale commentary. I got tired of the kind of the repeat of 2016, the mocking of Bernie Sanders, the shilling for Hillary Clinton, which in the general election, I was for Hillary Clinton no matter what. But I just didn't believe in that sort of institutional or cultural, push on the scale. And, years early, I used to dabble with TYT, the Young Turks, but I'll be honest, at the time I didn't take them seriously. I thought Cenk was just another guy online. And I think I came across Sam Cedar a couple of times on MSNBC, and I enjoyed what he had to say. But then I think at one time, one of his old tweets, which was actually a joke of a joke, and it actually wasn't anything bad, came out and it was misperceived and he got let go. And then I kind of followed him onto YouTube. And then I was loosely, watching Sam Cedar. And then I ran for commissioner of Oklahoma, labor commissioner for the state of Oklahoma in 2018. And I started to do pseudo campaign vlogging mixed in with political vlogging. So I sort of, after losing in my primary, Democratic primary here in Oklahoma, I did win 100,000 votes, which I always like to pat myself on the back and say that's 10 times more votes than Mitt Romney got in his primary. Then again, it is Utah. But then again, this is Oklahoma. But to be fair, Oklahoma was doing their marijuana medical law vote thing. But anyhow, from there, I went into vlogging, and I started finding out more about Sam Cedar. And then I guess at the time I thought, or I considered Michael Brooks to be a sort of sidekick to Sam Cedar, but with time, that kind of was not the case. It turned out to be Michael Brooks was not just not only not uh, a sidekick, but he was a whole different energy. He was a whole different, is the word enigma or just that force to be reckoned with. He had that I call that academic rigor, that analytical rigor, that intellectual rigor he applied to all of his arguments. But he had a good dose of comic relief to aid in delivering the message, a salient, strong, powerful message. And he wasn't the type that would get professorial and use historical bookmarks and anecdotes and just kind of leave it at that and let you draw your inferences. He would kind of put the tie the bow for you and put the cherry on top, and that cherry was super glued. I mean, the case was rock solid. Not only did it make sense, but it was reality. It was the truth. What do I mean? For example, I always found, and I hope this isn't taken the wrong way, but I always found it intellectually honest and courageous and above and beyond just admirable that as an American of Jewish faith and tradition, that he was able to not de facto buy into all the tenets of Zionism. He used his political faculties and rigors and analyses to look at what was good and bad about it, as well as a function of how the state of Israel as a regime under Benjamin Netanyahu was mistreating the Palestinians, be they Arab, Bedouins, Christian or Arab, what have you. Sorry, I went for a very long night drive just to reflect on what had happened. Having said that, I always believe that true character is what you do when nobody else is looking, but it is also when everybody is looking. And when he would not only stand up for the Palestinians, but for, the Uyghur Muslims in China, for the Muslims of Yemen, who are being brutally massacred by the Saudis, who are backed by the United States, the annexation of illegal lands by Israel, with the support of the United States. When I see an American man of Jewish faith not just tote I call it the party or religious line, and actually call strikes, I consider that not only intellectual bravery, but just honesty and humanity, because that's how we all should be like. Whether I'm Christian or Muslim or Jewish or Buddhist or whatever, I have to call things as I see them. What is religion in itself? Religion isn't a brand name. I mean, a lot of people take it to be basically a brand name, not like Nike or Adidas. But being Jewish or Christian or Muslim or what have you is not about what are the mechanics of your faith. Oh, well, I do Hanukkah. I celebrate Christmas. I pray 5 times a day. I fast Ramadan. I do Passover. I do Lent. That's not religion. Those are just physical benchmarks that we follow throughout the year to express our faith in physical ways and to express to others in a sense of communal community, sense of worship, you know? And sometimes that translates into accepting the groupthink of your certain brand. So, for example, if everybody that wears Nike also likes to wear long socks and baseball caps backwards, let's say that, then everybody that wears Nike does that, right? So, like, okay, maybe that's a bad example, but let's say everybody that's into like punk rock, whatever, they all wear, I don't know, I'm probably too old to remember what's cool now, but Jinko jeans or like little chains and certain brand hats and whatnot. And everybody buys into the whole line, the whole platform, even in politics. There are lots of Republicans that don't care about, gay rights, whether a man or a woman gets married, or abortions, but they might just believe in, low taxes or guns or what have you. And they feel like, well, I gotta endorse the entire package. So what am I trying to say is, and maybe this is a wrong analysis to be making now at this point, but I think it's appropriate because what drew me to Michael Brooks, what drew me to admire him in immense and immeasurable ways is not that he just gave us great content, even wrote a book that he just released, and that I literally I'm looking at in my checkout bin and Amazon, which is now not available for 2 to 3 months now, I'm sure, because everybody raced to buy them. So I might just have to buy the Kindle version. Which ironically, I like to bootleg a lot of Kindle books, but when it came to Michael, I believed he deserved my hard-earned dollars, and whatever he gets out of it, I knew he would do good with it. And I still believe whatever foundation or whatever moneyed interest takes care of, what his estate will do good with it, even if it's supporting his family. But having said that, finding people that go above and beyond just their tribal beliefs, just above their geographic, community beliefs that you just kind of get ingrained from acclimation and from your surroundings is very rare. So having somebody pass away that is so honest and so strong in his character and principles is shocking. It's devastating. And this is something I've always agreed on is I can disagree with people on politics, left or right, center, but I'll always respect somebody who has principles and character and not change their views as the wind blows. Like Dave Rubin, where the money flows, so does he. But for somebody so young to die, not only is that unfortunate, but we lost a courageous man, a smart man, a man who was dedicated to not a political cause per se, but to a cause of humanity, a cause of humanity that America has not had before. I hope that makes sense. And in many ways, it wouldn't make sense if it weren't for Michael Brooks. I only can fathom what is it that could take such a young life so young. especially a man so active and passionate in what he does. Uh, it also brings goosebumps and chills to my spine. He was 37 years old. Uh, he's done a hell of a lot for any 37-year-old. I'm 32. Uh, I really did admire Michael Brooks. I call this delusional, but I always thought that maybe one day I could grow this channel to a point where maybe I could get a shout out from Michael Brooks. Uh, that's how I viewed maybe earning his reputation and trust one day would be like. I ironically as well, I was going to make a video, sort of listing my top 5 like inspirations and who I aspire to be like a melange of, a mix of. And I would say Michael Brooks was up there as a number 1, number 2, number 3, top 3 for sure. Up there with Sam Cedar, Michael Brooks, Jink and Anna Uger, even John Iadarola, as well as most recently Vaush, Vaush, and to a lesser extent Kyle Kolinski, even though there were many things I disagree with Kyle, but that's only because I think Kyle is he's sort of a ground truth guy. He kind of keeps you grounded. And let's say if we were the Navy SEALs and you had a team of 5 guys and I was with them going in to go get bin Laden, you would want a guy like Jink, who's kind of like your hothead, gonna go kick ass type guy. Then you'd have Anna Kasparian, who was more like the tough but feminine and kick ass lady. Then you'd have Sam Cedar, who was the statesman, the diplomat. Then you would have Michael Brooks, who was more of the, I think, like I would say Sam Cedar also was a sort of a tactician, or strategist, something like that. And I would say Michael Brooks was more of a tactician, historical, professorial, academic. He could probably draw up on a well of his knowledge and experience and inspiration. And then there would be me, the radio telecom guy, making sure all the wires are plugged up and we're broadcasting to the world. But no, this is not about crazy daydreaming. In a way, I'm at a loss of words, but in many ways, I'm not. I could go on and talk about Michael Brooks all day, and I may have to, and I hope to make a more appropriate sort of collection documentary of his greatest hits from the time he went on that Israeli TV network defending Ilhan Omar to his breakdown of what was going on in Bolivia and Brazil with Bolsonaro and Lula, to what was happening in Yemen, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Hong Kong, China, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Erdogan, the European Union, UK, the Labour Party, all that jazz. And then he was, if not as astute, in domestic politics as well. And this is by the age of 37. I used to always brag and have my friends toot my own horn and be like, well, Sam, you're like Google. And, that's because I could usually find or be cognizant of, general topics, fake it till you make it with folks. But I have to say Michael Brooks is the best there ever was that I've ever seen. I hate the saying God takes good people first, but that just means I'm here because I'm a bad person. But seriously, God does take the good people first, and he takes them young, or however the saying goes. This is a great loss for everybody, especially anybody left of center and left, because he was a leader in of thought. He was a leader of how we see the world around us and the implications and what it meant for you and me and for even those that we disagreed with. His prescriptions for how to move forward were not radical. They were not Looney Tunes. They were respectable, implementable, doable things. And we don't have those many leaders or those types of people nowadays. People that can come up with great ideas, but ideas that we can do now and reap the benefits now. And I will give more examples of that later with respective video. So in a selfish way, I just miss that we will not hear his voice anymore speaking on new items. In a selfish way, I would joke to my wife and say, I love Michael, but I hate his laugh. But you know what? I would do anything to hear his laugh again, because that would mean he would be alive and he would be giving us great content to, smirk at, snark at, or do his laugh altogether. So, Michael, just know that here in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere, Sam with the Oratory Post saw you as an inspiration, had hoped to meet you one day to maybe get your seal of approval. And heck, if you want to really know the truth, I had plans on collaboration and Zoom call-ins and meetings, and if in heaven they do, let me know. Just give me the code. You know where to find me. But yeah, it's sad. It's devastating, coupled with the current political state in America, the loss of family members in my own family. I considered Michael family, with all due respect to his actual physical family. But I believe there is a brotherhood in the few people. I do consider myself one of the few that take it upon themselves to build a platform, albeit my platform new, and his much more mature and established. But to do it for no profit motive other than to get a message out and to hope that there's an adoption of it, implementation of it, and actual changes on the ground. So, having said that, thank you, Michael. God bless you, Michael. And I know wherever you are, don't foment any more revolutions, okay? You got in trouble enough down here, so up there, keep the peace, baby. All right. This was supposed to be sad, but let's celebrate his life. Let's celebrate what he did for us, what he did for America, what he did for the world. People across the world know who he is, from the president Lula of Brazil to random parts around the globe to across here, the United States. Michael Jamal Brooks will forever live. Thanks to the internet, thanks to the power of his words, thanks to the immensity and the weight in gold that his ideas had, will have, and will continue to have. Good night, guys. Rest in peace, rest in power, and forever, Michael Jamal Brooks, we will remember you. Bye.